Dum, diggity dum, diggity da 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 da. Ba 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 da 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 da.
Arthur Dent is not the sort of man you would expect to be a hero. In fact, he is lying down in his bathrobe in the mud in front of bulldozers hungover, protesting the destruction of his house to make a bypass. His friend Ford Prefect comes over and tells him he needs to get drunk right away because the world is about to end. They go over to the local pub, have 3 steins of beer each, and then hitch a ride on a Vogon spacecraft right before the Earth is blown up by the Vogons to make way for an interstellar bypass. Ford reveals that he is an alien researching for a new edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a book that will tell you anything you need to know when traveling by hitching rides. Ford and Arthur are caught by the Vogons and tortured using the worst method, poetry. After the captain reads them some of his own work, they're thrown out into space to die. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy states that you can survive in space for up to 30 seconds if you have a deep breath of air. 29 seconds after they are thrown out of the spacecraft, they are saved in the most improbable way. They are sucked into a ship fueled by an improbability drive called the Heart of Gold, where Arthur loses his limbs, gets them back, then notices Ford is turning into a penguin, because those are the least probable things to happen. This is an example of how Douglas Adams, the author, uses the book's plot as a means to poke fun at traditional novel writing by setting up a classic problem and solving it in the most unexpected way, and just takes you along for the ride. At the helm of the ship is Zaphod Beeblebrox, Ford's cousin and president of the galaxy, who has an extra head and arm just for fun, and he also recently stole the Heart of Gold at an unveiling ceremony, is now on the run. Trillian, a human picked up by Zaphod months before the destruction of Earth, who is as smart as she is beautiful, and Marvin, a chronically depressed robot who hates everything and causes other robots to commit suicide just by talking to them. Marvin is one of the many symbols of irony in the story. Technology is supposed to aid mankind, but what if the technology was so human-like, he is like one of your colleagues who's chronically depressed? There are also doors that are smugly satisfied to open and close for you, and a computer system that is so annoyingly cheery that it will sing you a song from Carousel as certain death comes your way. Marvin is sent to get Arthur and Ford after normality is restored, and they all set course for the mythical planet of Magrathea. Magrathea used to build planets for the super rich, but then suddenly disappeared after the Great Market Crash. They find the planet, and it seems to be dead, but it is revealed that it isn't, however, when missiles come straight for them. They turn on the improbability drive seconds before impact, and the missiles turn into a sperm whale and a bowl of petunias. The sperm whale is oblivious to its certain death as it wonders what is beneath him, and if it wants to be his friend, before splattering on the ground and dying. The bowl of petunias only thinks, oh no, not again, and crashes to the surface of Magrathea. If you notice that this is a random tangent that is vaguely linked to the plot, but has absolutely no effect on the outcome, then that is good, for that is one of Douglas Adams' favorite plot devices he uses throughout the book. Another example of this is Arthur mutters the words, "I seem to be having tremendous difficulty with my lifestyle," and at that moment a freak wormhole appears, takes his words back in time to the brink of a deadly war, and, through a huge misunderstanding, causes the bloody battle to begin. After several centuries, they realize their misunderstanding and set course to our solar system. However, due to a major miscalculation and misjudgment of size, both battle fleets are accidentally swallowed by a small dog. And if you want to know what that has to do with the plot, so does everyone else, because it doesn't. Douglas Adams purposefully includes this in his plot just so he can entertain us with a side story. On the surface, the whale has caused a crack into the planet so Trillian, Zaphod, and Ford can go, while Arthur and Marvin stay guard. Marvin, depressed, wanders back to the ship, while Arthur meets Slarty Bartfast, an old man who brings him down to the building of a new Earth. Turns out the Earth is a giant organic supercomputer designed to generate the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. 10 million years ago, a supercomputer called Deep Thought pumped out the answer, 42, but in the 7.5 million years of calculating, forgot what the question was. So mice, the secret rulers of man, created the Earth to give the answer a meaning. 5 minutes before it gave the question, however, the Vogons destroyed the Earth, causing the mice to have to rebuild the Earth. But then one mouse has the idea to take Arthur's brain to see if it has the question in there, because he would have been alive when the question would have been pumped out. The gang run back to the Heart of Gold to get some food at the restaurant at the end of the universe. If this all seemed to whiz by and leave you questioning what you just heard, then that is how you feel once you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And scene.
Money,